Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. I haven't done anything for you to be proud of.
Of course you have. You are marrying a man who can support you.
Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Bridgerton's Agatha Danbury. I wanted to talk about Bridgerton a little bit, but I also wanted to talk about Lady Danbury because she's not getting a lot of shine in my opinion. I mean, she kind of is, but she kind of isn't because she's not main character, but she was definitely giving main character energy. She was giving main character energy. She may not have been the main character in this show, but she was giving main character energy.
I believe that news depends on what is to become of my son's title.
The real reason why I really want to talk about Miss Lady Danbury is because she confirmed what a lot of us already knew, especially during the height of hoe faces and 304 culture. We are not built for sale. We're not built for sale. We are not built for sale. I know I couldn't have been the only one that was cringing, wanting to vomit at the sex scenes because, girl, it was too much.
If you don't like ugly guys, you don't like money. If you don't like old or ugly, you don't like money. Okay, sprinkle, sprinkle.
She confirmed it for me, girl. I am not built for sale. I'm just not. Truthfully, some of us cannot handle that life, honey. Some of us just cannot handle that life. Imagine a man on top of you like, ugh. I read somewhere, I don't know if it was on Instagram, but somewhere a girl was like, girl, I can handle it if it's back shots only. I'm like, girl, I can't even handle if it's back shots only. I can't handle that, honey. I consider myself to be a strong woman, but I ain't that damn strong, honey. I'm sorry. I'm not that damn strong. Spoiler alert. From the tender age of 3, Lady Danbury was betrothed to her late husband, Lord Danbury. She did not find him pleasant and saw intimacy with him to be a chore. After taking part in marital duties with Lord Danbury, she would immediately take a bath in order to cleanse herself of him. After the death of her husband, Lord Danbury, she developed a friendship with Lord Ledger. Lady Danbury wandered across property lines onto the Ledger estate and met Lord Ledger, the father of Violet Ledger. The two began to take daily walks, or as they called them, rambles, where they would chat and observe the nature around them. Lady Danbury then was courted by Prince Adolphus, the brother of Queen Charlotte. When he proposes marriage, she turns him down because she wants to learn how to be her own person and not someone else's wife. Now, some things that I want to clear up if you were unaware. So I just want to point out that Lady Danbury was not a real person, meaning her character is completely fictional and made up. Her character was created by the author Julia Quinn from her Bridgerton book series. Queen Charlotte, A Bridgerton Story, was written by Julia Quinn and Shonda Rhimes. And it seems as though, based off of my research, the script was written first and then the book was written based off of the on-screen script. So when I say things like screen to book, literally screen script to book. And in most cases, when we see stories like this, it's in reverse, it's book to screen. But in this case, Queen Charlotte, A Bridgerton Story was first script, screen, and then book, which I find that to be interesting. So they took some things out and added things in. So the show is different from the novel. If you would like to check that out, they're saying that it is different. Now, the interesting part about this character and then overall the show is it highlights the history of women. It highlights the history of feminism. It highlights what a lot of us as Black women endured, our ancestors endured during this time frame and during this period. And before slavery, women were sold into marriage. And this is something that we don't talk enough about, in my opinion. A lot of times we as Black women, we tend to focus on slavery, and we try to create this fantasy that we were free and we were respected before slavery. But in reality, in all truth, we were sold into marriage before slavery.
An article posted by Al Jazeera titled "Trapped: The American Women and Girls Forced into Marriage." It states here, women and girls are still being coerced into abusive marriages, including many under the age of 18. Between 2000 and 2015, more than 200,000 children were married in the U.S., where some states still allow it. This article was posted December 24th, 2020.
When it comes to the character that we are seeing on screen with Lady Danbury, she was sold into marriage at the tender age of 3 years old. She was never given the choice. It was forced onto her to marry her husband for monetary reasons. Another thing that I took away from her character was the fact that Lady Danbury didn't know herself. She only knew what her husband liked, what her husband wanted, what his interests were, what his hobbies were, and she was raised in a way to only care about that. So she was raised to only be concerned with her husband, and she was only raised to be concerned with what her husband wanted. She never really got a chance to kind of have freedom to learn more about herself. She had a hard time receiving respect in the community after she became widowed. In this show, it highlighted how single women are not seen as valuable unless they remarry or unless they marry. And I found that to be interesting as well, because we see that a lot within today's society. Also, another thing that really stuck out to me within this character is the fact that she wanted to escape her life. She wanted to escape the fact that she was sold into marriage for money. She wanted to escape her lifestyle. She wanted freedom. When we look at women and how they're choosing certain lifestyles for themselves and things like that, me as a woman, I have my own personal choice in what I want. And one thing that I do take into account is the fact that when women feel the need to escape a certain lifestyle, it makes me think twice about my decisions and choices that I make when it comes to my own lifestyle. And if a woman was sold into marriage and she married technically for money, and she feels the need to escape her lifestyle, that makes me revisit my own life and my own choices and decisions when it comes to my own life. One thing that I do admire about Lady Danbury is the fact that she leveled up. She became more selfish and she became more self-focused, and she positioned herself in society where she demanded respect and she received it. With me breaking those things down, I want to dive a little bit deeper. So first and foremost, when I think of feminism in modern times, I respect women who simply choose. I'm not the one to tell a woman what to do necessarily, because that's been feminism. That's been feminism for a while. That was feminism before slavery. And women were never, throughout the history, especially when it comes to Black women, we were never given the choice to choose. And what I find interesting about men in modern times is that they feel like they can dictate what a woman should do with her body. When they were being compensated for selling women into marriage, it was all fine, it was all great. But now that women have more independence and they're receiving full compensation for being sold in the way that they want to, which is their choice, they take issue with that. So I guess if a man can't pimp you out, it's a problem. But when he can pimp you out, it's all good. Also, the reason why I created Decentering Men the series on my channel is because Lady Danbury did not know who she was. But how could she know who she was if her whole life was centered around getting a man and being sold off into marriage? And that's scary. And when she was in this lifestyle, she wanted to escape it because she wanted to know what it would be like to exist without having to live up to something that she truly was not. And she had to dumb herself down. She had to belittle herself. She had to overcompensate for her husband's ego because it was easily bruised by the slightest thing that would happen within society. And she felt like she was trapped and she had to make herself small to fit in this relationship with her husband. Also, I mentioned that when it came to her being a widow and she was single again, she went back to not being respected as a woman. And a lot of times we as women who are single tend to experience that a lot. In most cases, men will make comments about how something must be wrong with us, something that we did or something we're not doing right as to why we are single. I found that to be interesting how even after she widowed, people still did not respect her, and they only respected her when her husband was alive and by her side. But when her husband was no longer alive and by her side, they did not have the same level of respect that they had for her when he was by her side. And a lot of times we see that today in modern times, that we as women are not seen as valuable. We have nothing valuable to say. We are not worth anything unless we have a man that we can post up as a prize to show, hey, I have something important to say. You should listen to me. But first, I need you to know, hey, here's my man. So then you can take what I say serious and you see the things that I say as valuable. I also want to talk about with this character and through this character, the number one thing that was confirmed for a lot of women. We are not built for the lifestyle to have sex for money or to marry for money. We are not built for that lifestyle. And the reason I think it was like really hitting us was because they kept showing those sex scenes. And the sex scenes, it seemed like they got worse. It got worse as the show prolonged. And it was just hitting us all in the face like this is what it's really like, because we don't get that on social media. We always get the glitz, the glam, the shopping sprees, the cars, the shoes, the handbags, the apartments, and even the homes, but we never get that bedroom action. And in this show, we got the bedroom action, and a lot of us were able to confirm what we already knew, that some of us are just not built for that lifestyle. And it's no knock to the women that are, it's no knock to the women that can stomach it, but for some of us, it confirmed what we already knew.
Sorrows and prayers, prayers and sorrows 3,000 times over to Lady Agatha Danbury. Oh my God. That opening scene where he's thrusting on top of her are moments of my life that I will never get back. As if the grotesqueness of the moment didn't need to be driven home any further. They had the nerve to have this man take his teeth out. I said, Shonda, don't piss me off. Agatha needed to take a bath from the surprise, and so did Rachel. In all seriousness, it really drove home the point that women, even more so back in those times, were nothing but receptacles for sperm and containers for children. Like, the cooch had to be open 24/7. There was no refusing. There was no declining. You just had to sit there and take it from these old crotchety men. In season 2, she said, I have earned the right to live. Yes, you have.
When I tell y'all, y'all, when this man was on the screen, I had to look away. Like, I could hear him talking, but I could not look at him. Like, whoever did the makeup for him, listen, y'all are not getting paid enough, because, honey, y'all did y'all's job, because homeboy was scary looking. And not like looking at him was bad enough. Like, y'all, when his teeth came out, when he took his teeth out, gone. That was the end. That was the last time I could look at that man. After that, I was traumatized. When I tell you, like, I feel like I was feeling what Lady Danbury was feeling every time they were, you know, like, after the teeth came out, traumatized. So again, props to whoever was in charge, because look.
I am on episode 3 of Queen Charlotte, and I am literally waiting for Lady Danbury's husband to drop dead. Like, I want sis to take a pillow and strangle him. He gives me the X. Like, their whole interaction is like super predatory and gives me the X.
Listen, if you've seen Queen Charlotte, then I just want to ask Shonda, what did Lady Danbury do to deserve such a grotesque husband? He is just, whew. Oh, God bless.
So let's talk Lady Danbury. Some people are upset about how Lady Danbury suffered, but I think you need to have the juxtaposition to see the kinds of choices that women in that time had to make. And, you know, she was there and she had the choice after her husband died. She is married to this man that she does not want. She has to marry him because of his position and to secure her own livelihood and the livelihood of her children. And she is presented with the option that she can then now go marry a prince and have even more luxuries, but she would always be tied to a man. She got the option to be completely free. Now, does that mean that she gets to have this, you know, raucous love story? No, but I think for Lady Danbury, she doesn't really believe in that kind of all-encompassing love. She knows what marriage is, and she made the choice that was best for her.
And then my absolute favorite was when Lady Danbury leveled up. She leveled up, and that was the best part of this show, was she started from this point where she was sold into marriage at the tender age of 3, and then she leveled up and she was able to get property, she was able to get titles, and she was able to truly level up her life. And that was what I enjoyed about her character the most. And she had full control over how she got those things. And that's what I loved about it the most. And what did she use? She used strategy. She became more strategic in her approach with the relationships that she was forming within her community and within the court. When she did this, she was able to level up her lifestyle in that way. Now, a lot of people, this is what I want to get your opinion on when it comes to my commentary. When it came down to her relationship with Queen Charlotte, do you think that it was a real friendship? I can't really tell. It seems like it was, and she just would go to those meetings with Miss Lady, and you know the Miss Lady that I'm talking about. I'm gonna just put it on the screen because I really don't know her name. But it seems like she would just feed her information that Queen Charlotte would be okay with her knowing. But it doesn't seem like she was telling her personal information. So my question is, do you think that they eventually developed a real friendship? So that's pretty much all that I have regarding this video. I would love your thoughts and opinions. What did you learn from Lady Danbury? Was there anything that you learned from her character on screen? I felt like there was a lot that we could learn from her, and I didn't feel like we got enough of her character. And I'm hoping the Bridgerton team, the Bridgerton writers, directors, producers, I hope that they eventually create her spinoff of Bridgerton, because we would like to know more about Miss Lady Danbury, because she seems very inspirational. It seems like she eventually became a business owner and she had money of her own and she leveled up. And I think a lot of women are wanting to take some of the gems that she was putting down in this show. I know I did. I was taking notes. I really want to know your thoughts regarding her character on the show. Comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next one.